Oh boy, here we go.
All right.
Lorenzo and CFC.
Chris Armas's individual creation
I think you
in
mean Ted
T.
Lasso.
That was great. That was great. I love
I
that.
love that.
To be fair, this was all Chris Armas's plan, right? Go in, ruin everything, get fired, bring in a great coach, have them spend money because like, oh no, we're bad. We need to spend money. Toronto FC is great again.
Oh, don't also forget the step that he now gets to coach Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yes,
That's
Chris Armas has a
horrible.
master plan, bigger brain than anybody can ever imagine.
I just like what on earth are United doing? I mean, this man took Toronto, who was second in the East, and took them to the second, basically the worst team in the East because FCC already had the last spot reserved. But and now he gets rewarded by going to coach arguably the greatest player of all time. Are you kidding me? That's insane.
It wasn't Man U who brought him in. They brought in Ralph, and Ralph brought him in because Red
I
Bull
would have
Global
blocked it if I was if I was higher up at the Man U team. I would block it. Just
I don't
do
know,
like
man. You're a Chelsea fan. I don't know why you're worrying about this. Like they're bad. You're not. Why?
because he's making a terrible impression on American coaches.
Man, American coaches are always going to have bad impressions over there. You can hire Jesse Marsh and they can win the Premier League, and they'll still badmouth him for something. He doesn't eat beans in the morning. I don't know. They will always have something to complain about when an American does a good job or tries to change something about the way they play.
Let's jump into it. We've been going for a long time.
TFC. Bob Bradley steps in for year one at TFC after taking a team that finished 13th in the East, 6-18-10 with 28 points, trying to bring them back to relevancy. So what did he do? He went out and basically bought the world. Westberg in goal with Auro, Salcedo, Mavinga, and Lawrence in a back four. Osorio, his son, Michael Bradley, and Pozuelo in a midfield three. And on day one, it'll be Schaffelberg, Akinola if he's healthy, De Leon, or in July, this Italian dude's going to come in and play on the left wing. Insigne? Insigne. Yeah, and I think they just also bring in a another striker the last few days. I think his name was Jesus Jimenez. Which would give, because Akinola is coming off that injury and Achara isn't quite up to that level yet. So if I remember correctly, yes, Jesus Jimenez has come in from Dynamo Zagreb, and he's got a good little record about it. I mean, the Polish league is not the level that most of us expect to be at, but he's got 8 goals, 4 assists in 19 games. So the dude knows how to put the ball in the net. So they've got some depth. I'm going to ask a dumb question here. Did they get better?
Yes.
Okay, good. We both agree. Let's move on. What do they still need to get even better?
I think they need defensive help still. Yeah,
Really?
I know Salcedo, spoiler alert, as you say in your little transfer blurb, is a home run. I think that's fantastic business to bring him in a position that they desperately needed help in. But I still think that back line is super, as the youngins say, sus.
I'm going to hang up right now.
Yeah, no, I think the back line is it's a mess. In my opinion, it's still a mess. I know they brought in Salcedo. That's great. It's a great start. But I mean, this doesn't seem to be the same Kamar Lawrence that we saw at Red Bull. Mavinga, when he played, I get it, he was playing with Omar Gonzalez, but those two looked horrible together in the back line. And then Auro is, he's good, but he's not going to save this back line. And then in goal, whether it's Bono or Westberg, I mean, they're as we said, they're going MLS 4.0. Every game is going to be like 8-6, and I just think their defense is so bad they may be on the losing end of most of those 8-6s.
That's wild. There is a very, very small part of me, and I won't tell you how small, so you can figure it out. that really hopes Salcedo comes in and is Rafa Marquez 2.0. It would just light up this light inside of me that somebody else brings in a really high level Mexican center back who has experience in Europe and in the Mexican league, and he just flops. I'm not telling you how big that part of me is, but you can guess. They definitely need a little bit of help in the back line. I'll give you that. I think Shane O'Neal is actually not a bad pickup. I'm not gonna.
He's great as a depth signing, but I just don't think he's the starting quality center back that they need.
Still need a little bit of center mid depth, right? You're right now resting on Michael Bradley and Jonathan Osorio with Nabella Kello, who is okay. I mean, he played a little bit last year, and I didn't think he was awful. But there is literally, you have a starting three, an injured Ralph Priso who had ankle surgery, so he's probably out for a good little bit, and Nabella Kello. Not great. And you also need some winger depth. So I'm not super in love with having, obviously Insigne will be here, but your right winger, right mid combo is going to be either Marshall Ruddy, DeAndre Kerr, a draft pick, or that's it. Because I don't.
Well, they have. Doesn't Nelson play on the wing too? Jaden Nelson.
We need to make a change here. De Leon isn't on this list.
What do you mean he's not on the list?
He's not on the team.
I didn't even know you mentioned him.
I had him at right wing in the starting 11. Clearly, you don't listen to me.
No, I don't. I don't even know who you had in the left wing. Oh no, you said Schaffelberg.
Mm-hmm. So
I'm going to put on the right.
I'm going to put Marshall Ruddy in there right now. That's the only one they got. I mean, you could slide Jimenez over to the left, and you could put.
Why don't you play Jaden Nelson on the right?
Why do you want to play Jaden Nelson so bad?
I thought he already has experience. I thought they gave him like game time already.
No. Yeah, so this team is a lot more of a mess than people let on.
Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm learning that very quickly.
Jaden Nelson he's 67 appearances already for the first team.
No, he doesn't.
Well, all right, that's what Wikipedia says, but
no shot. He got 7 appearances at age 19. He would have needed to play every game of every season since being 17 years old. Let's check yourself before we have that conversation, sir.
I will double check on another site because Wikipedia obviously isn't always the most reliable source.
All right, so we're gonna fix this here.
Okay, he's got 14. I don't know what Wikipedia was smoking, but
probably counting the second team. I don't know.
It's still okay. He's 14 appearances already for the first team. I think Nelson gets the starting spot at right wing.
I think they're gonna go and play a 4-4-2 narrow. No, they're not because they've got Insigne coming. What are they going to do?
That's for Bob. That's for Bob to decide.
Robert Bradley. All right, I'll put Nelson in there to make you happy. Does that make you happy?
I don't really care at the end of the day. Whoever you want to put there. Let's throw Jonathan Osorio there. Why not?
He probably will.
Did you mention Pozuelo starting?
Yes, you mentioned Pozuelo starting. All right, best edition. We've waffled on this for too long.
I'm going to say Salcedo.
Me too. Insigne is not coming until June. Salcedo is going to make an instant impact. You can fight me if you want.
Yeah, in a position I think that they were hurting in more.
For sure. Yeah. Well, I mean, their wingers are really bad too. So
I still think they have like potentially young guys there. Center back, you got Luke Singh. That's probably about it.
Yeah. Biggest loss.
I kind of want to say Richie Larea.
Ooh, that's a good one. I like that one.
Yeah, I think he's obviously solid enough that he starts for the Canadian national team, but I get it because he was playing your fullback positions are already they were pretty deep when he was there because you had Auro and Kamar Lawrence as well. And I think Kamar was playing center back at some point. So I
He
think that's
was.
when Larea was getting game time, but I think they'll feel the impact of missing him. So I'm gonna go Richie
Okay. I've got Marky Delgado
to go on too.
because they're so thin at center mid. And they haven't brought anybody in to replace him yet. On a side note, 3 of their top 5 performers last year and 5 of their top 10 all are out of the door right now.
Who are the 3 of the top 5?
Soteldo, Delgado, and Omar Gonzalez.
Omar can get out of here.
Yeah, I know. He scored 3 goals last year.
Probably by accident.
I know.
He got to show up so he can go join Bruce Arena's team.
This team has so much work to do. Player to watch. You go first.
I'm going to say Pazuello because he kind of only got a little bit of time last year to recover from the injury. And I'm very curious to see Pazuello throughout the whole season because I think the start when Insigne's not here, he's the guy. He's their main attacking piece. I think he will have to ball out if Toronto want to get anything out of this team. But then when Insigne comes in, I kind of want to see what happens. Does Pazuello kind of take more of a backseat, more of a playmaker role? Or does Pazuello still continue to be the dominant piece? I don't know. I'm curious to see if he can even get back to that level following the injury.
Mm-hmm. For me, it was Salcedo, and I kind of alluded to it already. Is he going to be Rafa Marquez? Is he going to come in and be a top 5 center back? I think it's going to be the latter. I think he's going to come in and just absolutely light the world on fire. But like I said, it wouldn't hurt me if he shows up and doesn't. My biggest question going into the season, how well are these big signings going to perform? And is it enough to make them a contender with the way that this team is already we're poking holes through it as we just look at it? What about you?
My question is, I'll go with the easy question here. What are we getting out of Insigne? I think the expectations are so high for him. I almost feel like a part of me is almost like it's impossible for him to live up to these expectations because people are just, I mean, people are already calling it like the best signing in MLS history. And it's like, he hasn't even stepped onto the field yet.
David Beckham is forever and always the best signing in MLS history, and I will die on that hill.
I believe it. At least, there was so much more than just what he did on the field for the league. So, yeah, exactly. I get it.
All right. Where do you have them finishing?
This might come as a hot take, but I don't see a super strong season from Toronto, at least not at the moment. This team is, I mean, as we were going through it, we just realized that this team is a mess. I think maybe this will end up being one of my hot takes, but I don't think this team makes the playoffs.
Ooh, that's crazy.
Maybe. I'll say 7 through 11.
Wow. That's
what I'm very curious to know what on this team gives you the thought process that they're going to be one of the top teams in the East. I mean, the East is strong.
I don't have them as a top team in the East. I've got them 5 through 8, so maybe missing out. I'm sorry, not 5 through 8, 5 through 7. But wow. It's because there's a second mid-season transfer window. They're not done spending. There's no way that they're done spending, especially when Insigne comes in. There's no way. They will bring 1 or 2 more players in to really help them out. You're going to see them be linked to a really good number 8, really good number 6, somebody who can fill in a role that they are desperately missing. They'll be okay.
If they're going to do that, they have to buy down Salcedo. They're on 3 DPs at the moment, or Pazuello.
Why not go get a TAM? Why not go get a TAM number 8?
You can, of course.
That's what I think they're going to do. I don't think they're going to go break the bank, but they're going to go get some mid-level guys that are going to ease this roster out a little bit.
I can't just rely on faith that they're going to make a move in the other transfer window. I'm
Has
going to go off
Minnesota
of what they
taught
have
you
on-
nothing, sir?
If you were to rank that, like assuming they didn't make any moves in the next transfer window, where do you think they would finish?
I'd probably say like 5 through 9. I'd put him on that bubble.
You think this team on paper could get fifth in the league?
I think Bob Bradley is a magician and works wonders with little to nothing.
He couldn't at the end of last season. He missed the playoffs. He
Yeah.
got little to nothing.
Yeah, but he just chose not to. And I will.
Yeah, that's what he chose.
Yeah.